Nilesh Shah, the point that the Oxfam report makes is that the gap, they seem to suggest, is only widening. The concentration of wealth with the emergence of more billionaires, and many will say you need wealth creators. But if there is concentration of wealth, then it widens the inequalities that exist. I mean, 1% or 21 billionaires of India accounting for the same wealth of 70 crore Indians. How do you respond?
So Rajdeep, clearly inequality is there. Now whether it is widened, reduced, but inequality is there. How do we reduce inequality? If we look at the savings pattern of the rich versus poor, undoubtedly rich are saving more and poor are saving less. So one way is to increase overall income so that poor can also save more. But the real challenge for us is investment of that savings. The poor by and large are investing in cash, in gold, in chit fund and nidhis. You will be surprised to know, Rajdeep, that 1.5 crore Indians have lost 1,80,000 crore in collective investment scheme from PACL to EMU to Tickwood. These are the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid. They are, lured of overnight doubling of money and stuff like that, and they end up losing their capital. So we have to focus on providing savings option to bottom of the pyramid. We created Jan Dhan, everyone got a bank account. Let's create a Jan Nivesh Yojana so that bottom of the pyramid can also compound their wealth at the same level as the rich of the India.
Okay, let me try and get Arun Kumar to explain why is it Surjit Bhalla's report, IMF's report says actually extreme poverty has declined, that the Modi government has consciously worked at welfare schemes that provide free ration, for example, versus Oxfam's report which says wealth inequalities are widening and the poor in a way are getting poorer in comparison to the rich who seem to get more affluent.
So, Rajdeep, there are three different kinds of inequalities that exist that are measured. First is the inequality in consumption, second is the inequality in income, and third is the inequality in wealth. What the Oxfam report primarily focuses on is the disparity in wealth. And you must understand that, the consumption inequality is less, and I think what Surjit Bhalla and so on are doing is the consumption inequality, not the income or the wealth inequality as far as I understand. The income inequality, unfortunately, the data is not available. It has to be assessed in a different way. And the wealth inequality also does not take into account fully the actual inequality because, it's largely based on financial holdings of stock market or financial assets and so on, but doesn't take into account the black economy, doesn't take into account the of the real estate sector and the funds that are held abroad. So actually the Oxfam report understates the wealth inequality. The wealth inequality is much larger than what the Oxfam report reports. So in a sense, what we need to worry about is that what's happening at the bottom, as Nilesh Shah correctly points out, and I'd like to point to the eShram portal on which 28 crore people have registered from the unorganized sector, and 94% of them say that they are earning less than 10,000 rupees per month. And if you look at the World Bank latest poverty line, it's $2.15 per day per person, and that translates to 13,000 rupees per month per person. So in other words, all these 94% people in the unorganized sector who are saying that they are earning less than 10,000 rupees, they are poor. So if you go by that, then you find that the report that Surjit Bhalla and company have given is not quite accurate because they're not really taking into account the actual consumption pattern in the economy. So while it's correct that the government giving 5 kilo of ration and earlier 10 kilo of ration did help the poor people, because after all, they were not able to purchase enough food, and therefore government definitely helped in that, and that definitely helped in the reduction of the extreme poverty. But the poor don't spend only on food, they also need other things, and that's where I think the multidimensional poverty still is much higher than what the Surjit Bhalla and the IMF report seem to say.
Let me stop you for a